The famous quote from Epictetus said, "Run races where winning is up to you. The race against yourself, the race against the urge to stay on the couch, and the desire to not do it. There is the race you run each and every day, and there is where we push ourselves and challenge ourselves." Look, it's quite simple to settle down and kind of get into a rhythm. Actually, Austin, the city from where I'm writing to you now, was dubbed the Velvet Rut for a very long time in Texas, and I believe it sums up where a lot of us end up. We intentionally make things easy for us. We have our comforts, we receive what we order, and we are content with the way things are. However, life doesn't really give a damn about your comfort, and if we live long enough, it will eventually make us all quite uncomfortable. To ensure they are not taken aback when something occurs, the Stoics develop a resilience or toughness. Indeed, for thousands of years, the Stoics have been actively seeking out obstacles of all sizes on a daily, annual, and lifelong basis in order to prepare themselves for whatever fate has in store for them. Comfort, as the Stoics saw it, was a kind of death. Although it could seem good at the moment, you were eventually becoming worse, deteriorating, and becoming much more susceptible. Seneca, for example, often discusses the value of hardship, the need of preparing oneself for it, and the necessity of facing one's future with courage. And in this episode, we're going to accomplish just that. I will provide you with some Stoic exercises to help you develop difficulties in your life and learn to be comfortable in unpleasant situations. Not even Marcus Aurelius in Meditations like Rising Early. He speaks about attempting to rise early and engages in an amazing dialogue with himself. He continues, "But it's warmer under the covers," and then responds, "Is that what you were put here to do? To huddle under the blankets and be warm? But this one isn't much nicer," he adds. Is that what, he asks, is the reason you were created? To feel good. Everyone is here for a reason. Each of us has a nature, a purpose, and a duty, and we must go and fulfill that, he declares. Moreover, the morning is the ideal time to accomplish tasks and complete tasks. Thus, the Stoics made an effort to rise early. I say try because even while they didn't always succeed, it wasn't always simple, and they didn't always like it. They gave it their best go. Nevertheless, the maxim for prosperous individuals, exceptional authors, artists, and innovators originates from the poet William Stafford. Do the hard thing first, he advises. And what he's saying is that you should build your way up to things rather than trying to rush them or put them off. No, you tackle the hard thing first, he adds. We pick up the heavy end first, said Edison. That's the concept. You start with a difficult task, and after you've completed it, ticked it off your list, and made headway, you've already won. Even if you don't continue to win, you'll still have momentum for the remainder of the day. Things are already somewhat improved by you. So this morning, follow this rule. Start with the difficult task. Avoid being heard whining. In Meditations, Marcus actually writes, "Not even to yourself." It's not only about not moaning in public, it's also about not moaning to yourself or feeling sorry for yourself, since the main idea is that it never matters. Complaining is not the same as doing. Complaining is the result of confusing talking about your feelings, expressing your anger, and expressing your emotions with taking concrete action to address your issues. Spend some time thinking about what's essential throughout the day, who you want to be during the day, and how to get yourself focused. What you're not doing is staring at your phone nonstop, missing the dawn, or missing activities that help you center and clear your mind. You may then use it to your job after that. You'll discover that's rather significant. Establish one rule. For the first hour, avoid using your phone. Never have a nice start to the day. There are issues with it all the time. Make the deliberate decisions, show forethought, prepare ahead, and have intention. Before you are drawn into something, you should take care of it. Upon learning that you are a runner, others often inquire, "Are you preparing for a marathon?" And no, is the response. I run every day as part of my preparation for this. That is the race. The marathon is about forcing yourself to run even when you don't want to, even when you're weary, even in cold or hot conditions. We treat the body rigorously so that it's not disobedient to the mind, said Seneca. Literally, we are exercising our muscles and ourselves. We're also strengthening the muscles that enable us to do daily tasks. That completes the life's race. We're learning how to challenge ourselves and set expectations for ourselves. That is the ultimate competition. That is the rivalry. You're up against your own self. Your desire to not do it is fighting with your actions. If you are in a competition with anybody, it is with all those who are sitting on the sofa and doing nothing. The tagline from Epic is fantastic. Run races where winning is up to you. The competition is against yourself, the want to remain on the sofa, and the will to not do it. That is the area in which we are testing ourselves. We are exerting ourselves there. You compete in that race each and every day. Saying no is difficult. It's important to understand that when you say no to something, you're also saying yes. According to Marcus, letting up of the unnecessary really means accepting the vital. You get the dual advantages. He claims that when you refuse something, you free up space for the important, urgent, and superfluous things to go, which will also enable you to complete the important, urgent, and required tasks even more effectively. Thus, I'm trying to remind myself that every yes is also a no, and that every no is a yes. There's a reason why we push our physical, mental, and spiritual limits. Thus, when life puts us to the test, we are aware of our capabilities. We are aware of our resources. That is the main goal of stepping outside of your comfort zone. The individuals you are going to encounter today will be rude, foolish, incompetent, envious, and all of these things. Marcus really begins his renowned meditations in this manner. He makes a list and gets ready for everything he has to deal with today. At this point, you may assume that he is a negative guy and that he despises or doesn't like other people. However, in reality, no. It's fascinating since the crucial portion of the statement is really found in the next section. It's not their fault, he says. They are ignorant of right from wrong. They have no concept of right and wrong. They are unaware of any other option. And no one can implicate me in ugliness, he continues. We were designed to work together, he explains. I refuse to leave these individuals behind. Marcus Aurelius is so cynically preparing himself for how annoying and nasty people may be. Moreover, this is an important task. If you approach things expecting them to be flawless, you'll be surprised when they aren't. It does not, however, absolve you of the need to cooperate with others, see the goodness in others, and do good actions. In fact, the purpose of that exercise's initial part is to help you achieve just that. Unless someone can demonstrate otherwise, don't let anybody tell you that Stoicism is depressing, hopeless, or cynical. That's not quite as beautiful as this one. But ego isn't only bothersome. It's not only about being pompous, rude, entitled, haughty, and all these other awful, ugly things. Your ego causes you to deteriorate. Remember, it is impossible to learn that which you think you already know, says Epictetus. It's the problem of the ego. If you think you know everything and are perfect, you are kind of right, since there isn't anything further you can learn or do to improve. Socrates and other modest people focus on their ignorance, as do people who focus on their areas of improvement, as does the self-fulfilling prophecy, and as a result you improve because opportunities present themselves for you to take advantage of. Moreover, it's far more fun to be with you. Marcus gave it his utmost to achieve well. He made an effort to assist as many people as he could, but he also realized that good deeds and moral behavior weren't always appreciated or acknowledged. In Meditations, he states that you cannot anticipate the third thing: acknowledgement, gratitude, and being acknowledged for what transpired. You have received gratitude for acting morally, sensibly, and understanding that what you did was proper. The Stoics would claim that everything else is extraneous, pleasant to have, but it can't be the main motivation. And this notion of desiring the third thing comes to me often. Getting on the bestseller list is the third goal. Wanting the thank you card is the third item. The third is when someone approaches you and says, I just want to let you know how much that helped me and what that meant to me. I want to return the favor. It was the correct thing to do. That's why you do it. It's fantastic if you get the extra and the third item. That's not something you should desire, but more importantly, it can't be something you anticipate, since you'll be let down, according to the Stoics. By anticipating events, you relinquish control over them. Seneca said, what lands heaviest is what catches us off guard, what we refuse to prepare for, what we refuse to think about. Thus, the Stoics engage in premeditation. They warm up ahead of time to ensure that they are ready to take advantage of the chance to plan, to be tough, to harden oneself in order to prevent the untimely and unduly harsh strokes of destiny. Of course, perspective is everything. They are psychologically strong and resilient individuals who are able to see things from the correct angle. Every situation has two handles. One will bear weight, and the other won't, asserts Epic. What will you use to pick this up then? Which way will you decide to see it? In what way are you going to attempt to transport it? It's the same object seen from a different angle. That's how life is. We have two options for how we see it, one way or the other. Something might be seen as an opportunity or as a barrier, depending on our perspective. When we look closely, we can see chaos. When we look far away, we may see order. If we take one perspective, we can see the drawbacks. If we take another, we can see the benefits. From one angle, we may see the difficulty, and from the other, the opportunity.